This is a thawb. A thawb is a long flowing garment, traditionally worn by men in a lot of Arab countries and some Muslim majority regions elsewhere. It is characterized by its loose fit, ankle-length design and long sleeves that allows for comfort in hot climates, as it allows for great airflow, which keeps you cool in the immense heat of the Middle East. The thawb is often worn for both everyday purposes and formal occasions, and it has a deep cultural and religious significance in various parts of North Africa and the Middle East, and especially on the Arabian Peninsula, where the thawb is worn a lot, and also kind of acts like a significant cultural symbol of Arabness, as a type of clothing that signifies a connection to the greater Arab heritage, as a type of traditional Arab clothing. The material used for the thawb can vary a lot depending upon the climate and the occasion, as there exist variants of the thawb with thicker fabrics like wool that may be used in cooler weather during winters and in high mountainous areas that do exist in the Middle East. And these areas can actually be pretty cold depending upon the altitude and upon the time of the season. Though normally more lightweight materials like cotton or linen are used, as they are better for a more hot climate. And large parts of the Middle East tend to get pretty hot, and thus having clothing made of light material that you can easily move around in and that does not insulate the heat too much is preferable most of the time. I say most because there are some exceptions with some other types of clothing that are not the thawb, where you actually use rather heavy clothing in order to insulate yourself against the heat. But as for what regards the thawb, you use light materials generally due to the heat, so cotton and linen. As for the color of the thawb, white is the most common color for a thawb, especially in the countries of the Arabian Gulf. White reflects the heat from the sun and thus keeps you cool during the day, and is thus a very practical color to have the garment in for everyday use. Darker colors like black, grey or brown are also worn, especially during the cooler times of the year or the day, and during various formal occasions and festivities. And likewise are more striking colors also used during various festivities and high occasions. Historically, purple and green were also worn as ways to show that one belonged to Al-Bayt, the family and descendants of Muhammad. Green was used because it was associated with various traditions about Muhammad's family and descendants wearing green, and thus the people that claimed to be in the extended family of Muhammad thus wore green as a way to connect themselves with these religious traditions. And purple, because purple was such a precious color in the past, because it was very costly to make it, and thus wearing it was a sign of wealth and a sign of high status in the past. And purple was seen as a fitting color for someone that had a claim of being from the extended family of Muhammad. And even if that claim did not exist, the claim of being a descendant of Muhammad's family, purple was still worn by affluent people who wanted to show off their wealth and status in their clothing by having their clothing colored in the color of purple. Also on the subject of using colors to show off status, white is also used a lot with regards to the thawb in order to show off piety or purity of the faith towards Islam, as white does symbolize purity and especially religious purity, and thus wearing white is a way to signal that you take your faith seriously. And there also exist traditions in Islam about wearing white clothing as an act of piety. In fact, the Thawb has a lot of cultural and religious significance generally, and coloring is just one part of it. For many Muslim men, the Thawb aligns with various Islamic principles of modesty, as it covers the body in a loose-fitting manner that covers all the parts that need to be covered. As the Thawb is designed to cover the entire body down to the ankles, which is the Islamic ideal of modesty as regards men. Though it is also important here that the garment does not touch below the ankle down into the dirt. The lower garment of a believer should be halfway below the knees. He is guilty of no sin if they are up to the ankles. That which is below the ankles is in the fire of hell. Allah will not look at one who allows his lower garment to trail out of vanity. And even outside of religion, the Thawb is an important part of the cultural identity in many Arab societies. Its style may vary slightly from region to region, with subtle differences in everything from color design, in the button placement and numbers of buttons and design of the buttons, in the various types of colors that you choose for the Thawb. Various decorations sometimes are placed upon the garment, either by print or, more commonly, by embroidery. There is a multitude of various slight design differences and a multitude of various variants of the Thawb, depending upon region and area where the Thawb is worn. And also, the garment has a lot of different names as well, such as Dishdasha, Kendura and others, as local names for this garment dependent upon which area these garments are worn in. Furthermore, the Thawb is often not a lone garment and is often worn with other garments, such as a cloak called a bisht or mishlah or abba. There also exist a lot of types of clothing that are very similar to the Thawb, for example the Egyptian galabiyah. Furthermore, the term Thawb can also be used as a general term for any type of garment or piece of clothing too in Arabic, and thus the term Thawb can refer to other garments than just this specific type of garment too. And thus context is actually sometimes needed in order to understand what the term Thawb is used for, as it can sometimes be confusing if it refers to this specific type of garment or if it just refers to clothing, cloth or something similar generally. And there also does not really exist a firm definition of a Thawb as a specific type of dress garment either. And the borders between it and various similar types of garments that are in use in the Middle East and elsewhere are sometimes very blurred. And what might be considered by certain people as being a Thawb, as in this type of garment, by certain people might not be considered it by others and called something else, due to it being different in some slight ways. But regardless, the Thawb, as in this type of clothing that I've shown here, remains a symbol of cultural significance and religious observance in the Arab world, and also beyond, as you have other cultures that have adopted this garment or variants of it. And I hope you found this video about this garment interesting.
Please do subscribe, as it would help the channel spread awareness about the humanities.
اشتركوا بالقناة من فضلكم.